And joining us in the first segment of the Mason Crosby Show, as he does each and every Friday, the most keep your thoughts in order man I can think of that works here, Mr. Andy Herman. Andy, good morning as well.
Good morning to you guys as well. I do have some bad. I don't want to start off with bad news, but I do have actually some bad news. It has been reported that Jeff Hafley was caught walking across the crosswalk, but he was going he was actually jaywalking. He was jaywalking, and there was an old lady that had groceries. He did not help her with their groceries to the car. Also, there's some news out there that he did not return his shopping cart to the cart aisle. This is not a head coach candidate in the future, guys. I don't know how any team could possibly view Jeff Hafley as a head coaching candidate after some of these insane allegations that are out there. I think he's going to have to remain defensive coordinator with some of the stuff that's floating around.
Just imagine Jeff Hafley calling double mug blitz at Aldi, like right there on an old lady. Like that would just be
wrecks her cart, just sending people, just send them.
Just a poor human being. It's just unfortunate. He had head coach written all over him, but
he's not ready.
Like he's going to have to stay a coordinator forever now.
Yeah, he's not ready. Yeah, I totally agree with you. I thank you for that news and that update because we were concerned he was going to go somewhere, but with that kind of attitude, like nobody's going to want to touch that.
I mean, seriously,
that's crazy.
This guy, enjoy him while he's here, right, Mason? Because there's no shot he's staying after the season.
And yes, like for sure. I mean, obviously, what he did last year, what he's doing right now, like the creativity, the way he calls those defenses. Let's be honest though, that defense is really good. Has some football players on that team.
Stacked.
Those are ball players. I mean, it is ridiculous. Bullard had a night. Keyshawn Nixon is McLaurin a good wide receiver? I don't know. I mean, Keyshawn Nixon just made him look amateur. My guy, I was telling Tommy right before, Andy, my favorite player on that defense right now, Devontae Wyatt.
I knew you were going to say Devontae Wyatt before you said Devontae Wyatt.
I love those. I love those big guys, and it's a game changer. Diving through the legs to try to intercept a spike at the end of the game when you're beaten out and it's like game's pretty much over. Like, give me all of that. Like I told Tommy I would have been on the sideline just losing my mind. I would have just been like, yes, go. Because that was so awesome. And he is just a force to be reckoned with. I mean, this run defense, what is the stat? I think they've given up 49 rush yards or something in the first two games against two teams that love to run the football.
Average.
I mean, it's insane.
Average. The average. I think it's 90,
the average per
97,
game.
97
49
right now.
per game average. Yes. But I mean, that's insane. It's just insanity. And, and that's again, Kenny Clark, a great run defender, has, been exceptional for the Packers. Cowboys took him to shore up their run game. So, I mean, it's like, I think I'm so happy that this team has stepped up and just playing at a high level. I mean, that score could have been 34 plus, right? I mean, that game could have gotten out of hand early. Easily. Commanders are a good team. They kept them in it. Packers were kind of shooting themselves in the foot a couple times, but an awesome game. So what in that game did you see that, potentially needs to be cleaned up? I have a few thoughts, but I'd love to hear your thoughts, Andy.
I think it's just offensive efficiency. I mean, special teams, I'm willing to give a little bit of accident forgiveness with the fact that Bo Melton, Zane Anderson, two of your best specialists are out in that game. You could tell the coverage was certainly not the same. They had Kamal Haddon in as a jammer on one play, and he just basically didn't touch the guy at all. And the guy went right down and was able to make a tackle. So they were missing a couple of their core guys, and you could tell. But I think you want to get a little bit of that cleaned up. McManus, he made up for it later on the long field goal, but had the doink off the crossbar. You could tell he was upset with himself right after that. Right before halftime. But I think a couple things there on teams, and then offensively, just the efficiency stuff. There's just moments where it's this close to being supercharged. And to your point, like there was so much more that was out there on the field. I love how aggressive this offense is in a world where everything is checked down and the average depth of target is just plummeting down like a stock market that's collapsing. You see it the exact opposite in Green Bay, where you're seeing 15-yard throw, 20-yard throw, 50-yard throw down the field. And it's just Jordan getting back there in clean pockets and absolutely letting it rip. And I think once you start seeing a couple of those big time completions get completed a little bit more regularly, and you start seeing this run game come along a little bit more, it's just game over at that point. And you can tell, like, they're 2 games in. Jordan missed some time, during camp with the thumb injury on his left hand and things like that. Hopefully they get a little bit more practice time coming up this week just to shore up a couple of those things. But once that efficiency comes on offense, I don't know what you do to stop this team, because then it's going to be firing on all cylinders. That's what I'm waiting for. But that's the only thing at this point, Mace. Once it gets done with that, I don't know where else they kind of go. They're going to be really freaking good.
Yeah. They're really good. And to be able to hold, two really good teams, the teams that were, some of the best teams in the NFL last year. And like, obviously Commanders projected to be another really, they're going to be a good team this year. Lions probably still the same. We're still have some question marks there, but yeah, I think my only thing too is, like, there were some spots, and I do think the Commanders have a good front 4, especially probably a good, front 7 is one of the better ones in the game. And, they affected Jordan a couple times, but I still think that offensive line, with missing 2 starters, they put, what was it? They put Belton in to start, and then Kennard came in and played.
And they kind of rotated him.
A lot of snaps in that game as well. So, you didn't notice Jordan Morgan not, doing his job and, being out there. He was effective. The touchdown pass to Romeo Doubs, though, like, I love, like, the fake fade. I mean, that route was so dirty, and it looked like Jordan, looked like he was, open to throw that corner, and then just, threw that nice, inside slant. I mean, they abused that Washington Commanders secondary. Like, Lattimore looked like he looked lost out there. I mean, it's like that guy has been a Pro Bowler. I mean, he's a top corner, and they were just running him ragged. As soon as I saw them go to man, and they were playing man most of the game, I was like, oh my gosh, our receivers, our team's going to eat, especially with Tucker Kraft into the mix as well.
It is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. Andy Herman, Pack-A-Day Radio. Follow him on Twitter at Andy Herman NFL. I want to play this clip for you guys here too, because I want your instant reactions. It's Micah Parsons speaking on the defensive performance through the last 2 weeks.
Best defense in NFL terms, those is earned. It's early to say. The best defense do it consistently. Consistency equals greatness. And, we had a great start, so I'm just happy about that. But we can be a great defense. It's just up to us to continue to push and strive for that.
Did you know Pat Murphy is also the manager of the Brewers and the coach of the Green Bay Packers? With that word set right there, it's the exact same thing, right? We can be. They're so hungry still, Andy and Mason. Like, they don't care about what they have done. They have so much higher goals now, and they bought in so fast. Andy, your reaction to that?
Yeah, I'm right there too. And it just feels like getting Micah Parsons on this defense just, again, kind of supercharged everything. Rob Domofsky just put this tweet out. Getting Micah over here, it changed up their whole personality. That was wide receiver Malik Heath on the Packers defense. And it feels like they just kind of needed that boost of confidence. I mean, Micah is changing when, like, the entire everything when he's in there, but it still feels like this defense is playing with a different energy and intensity, even when he's not in there. It felt like this is just a little kick that this defense needed to recognize that they can be as good as they want to be. And when you've got guys like Devontae Wyatt and LVN stepping up in a significant way, Edgerrin Cooper taking over from where he was a season ago, Quay Walker playing some of his best football, these corners batting away everything on the outside. Evan Williams looks fantastic. Bullard, as you mentioned, had a phenomenal day yesterday. It's everyone kind of doing their job. And yes, like, it is going to take this consistency. Well, like, remember that one game where the Chicago Bears victory in week 1 where Aaron Rodgers after's like, we got a defense. No, you played Mitch Trubisky. Is what happened. You didn't have a defense yet. This, now it feels like you have a defense, but that just goes to show you have to show that week in and week out if you really want that moniker as one of the best in the league. They're going to have Cleveland next, the throwing Joe Flacco's. We'll see how they're able to do against that in week 3, but I'm feeling very confident right now with where this defense is at.
Mason, you've had some teams that you really like to credit the defensive performance, especially 15, 14 years ago. You talk about how great the defense was during that Super Bowl run and whatnot. But, like, seriously, this defense right now through 2 games has potential to surpass any I've seen in my lifetime for Green Bay, it feels like.
Yeah, it's speed and physicality. I mean, they are the fastest, like they have the fastest guys on the field. Every time they're on defense, they are the most physical when they're on defense. And that, and it was interesting because Dan Quinn last night, he was on that Seattle staff when it was the Legion of Boom there in Seattle. And honestly, since that, like this looks like that type of defense. It is just relentless pursuit of the football. They attack everything. There is no let up. Evan Williams thumped some guys yesterday. It's like everybody is the most physical and relentless to the ball. You saw Micah Parsons a couple times, like no business. He's not even in the play, but he's finishing till that ball carrier's on the ground every time. And that's where it starts. It has to start from the top. It has to start from your best players, and then everybody feeds off of that. So, yeah, I can't say enough about what the defense is doing, but I totally agree with him in his regard that they are 2-0. This has only been 2 games. Like they are a really good defense. They have proven that already, but they want to be a great defense, and that takes time. That takes doing it over and over again, overcoming injuries because there will be injuries. So who's going to plug in when that time comes to go out there and ball out? And only time will tell. But as of right now, we have to be pretty excited, pretty optimistic that this is going to be one of the best Packers defenses we've seen in a long time.
Well, and this guy.
And the ball handed off, and the tackle is made right away. Lucas Van Ness, 2 yards back of the line of scrimmage, second down.
Andy, I don't think anyone was look, I've said it multiple times on multiple shows all across this station. I was, maybe still am, the biggest hater of Rashawn Gary and Lucas Van Ness, but you cannot doubt what they have done the last 2 weeks. Lucas Van Ness looks like a first-round pick. He looks like the guy they were looking for out of Iowa when they decided to draft him. And Rashawn Gary, he picked up another sack yesterday as well. This defense now has gotten better all around it because of Micah Parsons, something we all predicted. And here's the other one here from Ryan Wood, at by Ryan Wood on Twitter. He joins the Wisconsin Sports Daily today around 2:40. Micah Parsons took 50 snaps yesterday.
Yeah, he played a lot.
Jumped a huge amount. He had, I think it was 8 pressures. It was unofficially 7, he said. I think it went up to 8.
It was 7 or 8 quarterback hits.
Four QB hits from Micah Parsons alone, a half a sack, and 3 drawn penalties. Andy, the other guys other than Micah Parsons is where I want to focus, though. LVN, Rashawn Gary. No, I could not see them looking this good through 2 weeks just by adding a Micah Parsons.
Well, the interesting thing is the most impactful defender up front in all of training camp prior to any Micah Parsons stuff was LVN. And everyone, myself included, had sort of the same feel of he's doing amazing. I'm not going to get overhyped about this because we need to see it in the regular season. It's one thing to do it in camp. It's another, can it actually carry over into games? But he was super impactful. He was consistently in the backfield. He had one day where he just completely wrecked practice. It was the best that I had ever seen LVN. And he completely just wrecked shop for the Packers offense all day long. And even after seeing that all training camp long, I still held the same feeling of that's cool. Do it in the regular season. And now we're seeing him do it in the regular season. Devontae Wyatt, similar sort of stuff. He didn't have the huge training camp. In fact, I thought he had one of the more quiet training camps of any player where it was just is Devontae Wyatt even on this team anymore? And then he comes into the season and he has been absolutely tearing it up on the inside. I was so Mason and I were on lockstep when he was talking about him earlier. I'm he's going to say Devontae Wyatt here, deservedly so. And he's been insane on the interior. And then we've talked about it, guys. It's like you had a number 2 pitcher as your ace and a number 3 pitcher as your number 2. And then all of a sudden you make that big trade for CC Sabathia, and CC Sabathia gets your number 1 spot. And then your number 1 guy goes to 2, your 2 goes to 3, your 3 to 4, your 4 to 5. And your whole rotation is now exactly where it's supposed to be. And it felt like maybe Rashawn Gary was a little bit over his skis as a number 1, maybe LVN a little bit as a 2, maybe Devontae Wyatt as a 3, and so on and so forth. But now you've got Mike as the 1, and it puts everything else exactly into place where you want it to. And now all that attention goes to your number 1 guy. And now Rashawn's getting one-on-ones, and LVN's be able to line up all over the place. And Devontae Wyatt's lining up against some more advantageous matchups, and all the attention on them. So all those guys get one-on-one blocks, and now everything comes together and looks fantastic. That's what it feels like, and it's been really fun to watch.
Yeah, I totally agree with everything you said. And I'll even add this though. It's like I love the stuff on X, like all the social media, just about again, Halfley just being a sick man. It's like the guy is a nut job. I mean, he puts Micah Parsons at the 3 technique, and it's like, and you bring in, you mug up Quay and you mug up Cooper, and it's like who's going, who's staying. Van Ness is dropping into coverage. Like it is such a hard defense to play against. And that's what I'm going to say too, is that these first 2 weeks, like, it's a good defense when you dictate to the offense how they have to play the game.
Yep.
And that is what this defense is doing. It is, and let's be real, like the pass rush, exceptional, but it's also discipline, because against the Jaden Daniels, if you just light your hair on fire and you're running at him, he's going to probably move around and find some space to try to beat you with his legs. But he couldn't even do that in this game because the pass rush was so disciplined. And I mean, he just went into he looked like Jared Goff out there.
Yeah, Mason.
It's like, let's just dink and dunk. Let's just throw it to our running backs. And I mean, he had a time clock where he's like, I literally can't hold the ball longer than 3 seconds.
Mason, I don't know if you've seen it probably live in person yesterday, just showing it on TV. The game was won maybe at 14-0. You could have said almost sooner, maybe, based on Jaden Daniels' body language. I thought he looked totally out of place yesterday and never was going to be moving the ball. And, smiling at Parsons, like that was like a total, like all the time. It felt like yesterday. I don't know if you picked up on that vibe too, Mason, but it just seemed like the moment was almost too big for Jaden Daniels.
A little bit, yeah. And it again, I think I texted y'all and I said, I think when it was 17-3, I'm like, I mean, it's over.
Yeah.
Like they're not, like they can just kind of hold this. Like they will not score, that many points if this stays how it is. And then you saw too, is like Micah Parsons got 3 penalties called against him. I mean, there probably could have been 8+. I mean, that offensive tackle, like both sides. I mean, Tunsil's a great tackle, the rookie on the other side. I mean, how many times can you have your like a guy be outside your frame and you hook them and not get called for offensive holding? I mean, it's like Micah Parsons was on their edge every single time. And then I loved it because then he steps hard upfield. That rookie right tackle went hard back, and that's when he threw him inside and beats him on the inside. So it's those weapons, it's that creativity in the pass rush and all those things. And then it allows Keyshawn Nixon to have a great night. It allows Bullard, Evan, everybody can just clamp down on the outside because they know that time clock is real. And if we let these guys run routes, a good quarterback's going to find them, but they can press up on these guys. Keyshawn Nixon is playing press coverage on McLaurin on the outside, like and breaking on on little stop routes, which is wild to imagine that for this Packers defense. And they are just doing it at a high rate. It's super confident. Halfley has them exactly where they need to be. And again, I like the part of it's a disciplined football team as well. Like, because we can't forget that. They're not just like being crazy and doing wild stuff. I mean, they are disciplined in what they're doing every time they step on the field.
Andy, thank you so much for popping on today. Any closing remarks on the Packers Commanders after the Week 2 victory?
I just want to go back to that Micah Parsons play really quick. The one that Mason's saying where like he's obviously going outside and then he stutter or like does like a jab step outside and then just immediately cuts inside and then goes inside and Josh Connerly is just completely lost and has to hold him. And Parsons still gets a half sack on that play. He, in the very blink of an eye, goes a full gap over before a 300+ pound offensive lineman can remotely react to it. So if you're thinking about Josh Connerly for a second, the first thing you have to worry about is if Micah Parsons just goes pure speed off the edge and you don't get set out there, your quarterback's just obliterated and you're not going to be able to get around to him if he just goes pure speed. So you have to get out there with pure speed, right? And even then you have to also be aware that like he might just try to go right through you. So you have to get out there and then also be ready to anchor if he decides to turn speed into power and just try to bull rush you back into the quarterback. So just even imagine this as a rookie, but so you plant outside to make sure that he can't get around you. You're one-on-one on this play. And you're thinking, all right, he's coming out. He jab steps outside. You're thinking he's coming around the edge. And then in the instant blink of an eye, he is a full gap over and inside of you. And you're a 300-pound offensive tackle, a rookie, and you're just like, what? He just literally teleported from one gap to the other. And now I have to get inside and try to stop him on the inside and move my 300-plus pound body as this guy's running a 4.340 to the quarterback, now a full gap over. You can't do anything. You just can't do anything against that. I don't care who you are, and especially as a rookie. And the only thing you can do is hold them. He holds them. And the only thing that does is cost Micah Parsons a full sack because Edgerrin Cooper was able to get there in the same time now that he was being held, and he gets a half sack instead. Like that's all you can do. It is crazy what that guy can do on the edge. And I do not envy any offensive lineman having to go against that because you're just in no man's land.
Andy Herman, not excited about the Packers season at all underway here. Andy, thank you so much for jumping on. Have a great rest of your weekend, my friend. I'll talk to you on Monday.
Can't wait. Thanks so much, guys. Enjoy the day.
Appreciate it.
There he is, Andy Herman, joining us on the Mason Crosby Show. You can listen to Andy Herman 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. every single weekday right before the Mason Crosby Show on the Pack-A-Day radio show.